Hello, welcome everybody who just watched me do the OneNote demonstration, or anyone else who would like to set up a class OneNote. As I explained, or I'm happy to explain to anyone else, I think class OneNote is a really, really good resource in terms of cutting down on how much worksheet sort of stuff you need to create, and also making marking a lot easier, because it means that instead of having to submit every piece of work or sort of evidence of learning to you through Canvas as an assignment, which then you've just got inbox filled with kind of assignment submissions, or perhaps you've asked them to download a worksheet, fill in a table, and then send it back to you. Instead of doing that, you can just use this as a copy, an electronic copy of their sort of old A4 notebooks for you to mark their classwork at intervals. So this is just a bit of a quick shoot on how to actually set up a class notebook, in case that's what you're keen for. Awesome. So the first thing you need to go to is a class notebook website. It is not the same as going through Office 365 and then clicking OneNote. There must be a link somewhere, but I can't find it. So I'm literally just Googling class notebook OneNote. Excellent. It's this top one. And if I were you, I would bookmark that ASAP, which you can see I've already done up here. Then you can sign in just with your DOE login. So mine's already saved on your computer, as I'm sure yours will be, and it will just sign you straight in. Cool. Once you're here, this is a really good dashboard to keep up, because later, if you've forgotten anything or you want to change anything, you can manage the notebook and how it looks. You can add or remove students, or most importantly, you can add and remove teachers, which will be really handy in terms of adding your collaborative team for whatever subject you're doing. But for now, pardon me, just go to the blue one on the left of create a class notebook. Name this obviously something that is about your class and subject, because they might have two for different subjects. So one that I haven't created yet is I need to do 9C2 HAS, and I'm just going to create that there and press next. This is simply telling you what that will have, which is it'll have a collaboration space, which is a bit like a discussion board on Canvas, and I don't imagine will be as useful for me personally. The content library, which is really useful, where you can sort of make templates of a particular worksheet or a lesson plan and notes, and then send them off or distribute that page to students. And student notebooks, which they'll each have one notebook of their own notes. Great, we just press next. This is the bit that takes a little bit of time, but as I've explained in person, is worth doing. It's not worth trying to find the Canvas log synchronizing feature. It's just not worth it. So at this point, this is where I would need you would need to get up a class list. Either do that through Eddie, or perhaps through a spreadsheet. You've already got your marks book somewhere. For this, I'm using 9C2. And you just need to type them in individually in the format of last name, comma, first name. And once you've done that search, they'll turn up. So, pretty sure the first kid in my class is Jack Barrett. So I'm going to put in Barrett, comma, Jack, and it will come up with him here, and I'll just click him. Cool. Feel free to speed this up when you get to your own. I'm going to do all mine because I may as well. Carhart, comma, Greece. In fact, if I was really clever, what I would be doing is putting these into different browsers windows and snapping them to one side of the screen versus the other, and then I can just scroll over here and add them all here. Now, this is a great example here. If you look on the Canvas side, the OneNote side, there are multiple Thomas codes within the Department of Education at the moment, and you need to make especially sure that you get the KHS Thomas code. So there are two ways to check which one that is. Basically, all you need is his email address. You could either go into Canvas and, in fact, we'll do it that way. So in your Canvas course, if I go to one of the 9C2 courses, there's 9C2 English. Excellent. And if I look for people, which when you've got it in half screen is a bit more annoying to find, but here it is, people. For most of you, it'll just be on the left. And I have a scroll down. Tom code is thomas.code.01. I can see that that's his address. So when I go back to here and they're trying to have different ones, if I hover, it'll show me that address. That one is utas.thomascode. Nope. The next one, thomas.code.03. Not correct. Next one, thomas.code.01. Butte. I'm going to add that Thomas code. Etc. etc. Dalco, comma, Jack, blah blah blah. Do all of your students, but I'm going to stop there for the purpose of not boring you stiff. And then just press next. If you miss one, you can come back later. It's totally fine. Now we are back to the bit where you get to choose what those pages look like. So each kid will be able to see only their own notebook with as many folders, I suppose, as you want. Kind of think of it like one of those notebooks where they've got the colourful tabs and they sometimes use them for different subjects or whatever. If you saw mine, I had one for assignments, one for classwork, and one for a word wall because it was history. For the purposes of this, I'm not sure what English is going to need. Likely it's not going to matter because I can add these later, but I'm just at the moment going to have 2 classwork and assignments. Excellent. On the next screen, this is OneNote just checking that it looks how I want. So from my perspective, I can see this way. From a student's perspective, they can see classwork and assignments. Great, great, great. Create. For some reason, some of my kids haven't turned up here, but I think it's because I pressed back. Ignore that. And that will set it up. Cool. In terms of downloading the class notebook add-in, it's probably worth doing because I think later that means that you can use your desktop app with it as well. But for now, honestly, you're fine to just stay in OneNote Online. So if you open that notebook in OneNote Online, it'll come to a new tab for you and Bob's your uncle. I'll do a separate video about how to actually use stuff within there. Cool. Hit me up if you've got any questions.